Are we ready? Is it fun?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we'll call the meeting to order, review the agenda for additions or removals or adjustments to any items.
Add in School Street water line service update and one correspondent.
Where do you want to put that?
6BB.
It's regular business.
6B1. Is that what you're talking about? 6B1, is that what you said?
B1.
BB.
And the correspondence just animal bite.
Oh, right, I saw that. So the under other business, or are we still, is that under regular correspondence?
Just leave it right under correspondence.
Yeah.
See down there.
there.
Okay,
That's something you can just do anyway, because we never know what's there.
Right.
Awesome. Public forum, opportunity for anybody not on the agenda to briefly speak about concerns or whatever they like. See no one. Round table. Public works, we'll let you go first, Eric.
Oh, good. Let's see. Just been plowing and taking care of the roads. Our salt shed right now is really down low. We are looking at what we should be around the end of February is where we are now. So I'm gonna have to order more salt. Just for you guys heads up. The sand pile, I think we're doing okay on the sand pile. We've had seen this year for some reason, we've had a lot of hydraulic hoses right below that we've been repairing. And I'm trying to do some of the maintenance on the excavator. One of the cylinders was leaking, we're trying to. We ordered packings and stuff for that, so we're repairing that in between. And then normal servicing the equipment.
Eric, when you said salt, are you half empty or half full or half empty?
Oh, heck no, we're down to like a quart.
How many yards did you have it when you started? How many yards did you order it?
How many tons?
Or tons?
We were probably pushing 700
That you ordered.
that we got, that we or not used, but that we bought. And
And,
we're down to
and,
about a quarter shed now.
and you figure what, 750, 800 for a year?
Yeah, so what I'm budgeted for, it gets me about 750 ton. And depending on, of course, it all depends on how the winter plays out. You get a good winter where you don't have a lot of storms, you have extra. If you get a winter where you have a lot of storms and these piddly ones are a material eater. You go through more material on the small ones than you actually do on the big ones. But you can usually cut back in the small ones, you go around once or twice. Get them done, and you go home, then you do it again the next day, and then the next day. Where the big ones, you can cut back, you can, just do the hills and corners until the storm's completely done, and then hit them once. So you end up going through more material, which doesn't sound right, you end up going through more material on the small ones than you do the big ones. And the way that the cost of the material is now with, well, not just material, but everything nowadays is just ungodly. So when I'd say probably 10 years ago, we were able to buy right around 1,000 tons of salt. We were able to buy at that point at that price. And now we are down to about 750 ton that we can buy.
And that excludes what? Any US location.
No, that's including it, but I don't count on that, I just go off the figure that you give me. And so we do have a little bit of a cushion there, that's. With whatever Nutty reimburses us for the salt that they get from us.
This, speaking of that, does that go back in your budget, Sharon?
Yeah, it goes back.
Yeah.
Put
Comes
it
back
back to his line.
salt line.
It's sold.
Just food for, just heads up. We've been cutting back a lot on stuff because we're getting low. So that's why sometimes the roads don't look as great as they should be. Because we're cutting back, so they may look more snow covered at some point, they may not be bare shoulder to shoulder. And the dirt roads. I've gotten a few concerns on the dirt roads that we're not putting enough sand down. Because we just cutting back a little bit. So, and that's the trend of it, if it keeps up the way pricing and stuff is going, it's gonna be a hard decision to either up the budget amount or let the public know that your roads aren't gonna be tip top shape.
Every single storm.
Every single storm, and I have, and that's one of my biggest problems, is I want it to be in tip top shape, so I come out probably more often than what needs to be. But I look at it as, if my kid was driving or if your kid was driving and they, I want them if it's safe for that. So I try to do the best that I can.
Can I ask two questions?
No, go ahead.
One is, when you're worried about slippery roads, can you use sand instead of salt, or are there clear situations where you'd only use salt?
No, so that, we have done that.
Okay.
So Colby and I, the village, I try not to put as much sand in the village.
Just with the buildup?
Well, that and sweeping it up, it just, cost wise.
Mhm.
For later on. So Colby and I, with our pavement routes. We normally go out our first round with salt. And then depending on what it's doing and the length of it, we'll switch over to straight sand.
Mhm.
And we'll sand them a couple times,
Mhm.
and then we'll switch back to salt. Give them enough to keep it mealy so it doesn't bomb
Mhm.
to the pavement, but yeah, we've been doing that, switching back and forth, so
Mm-hmm.
trying to hold off on salting as much as possible.
Yeah.
Do you salt the dirt roads?
Do we?
Yeah.
Not usually,
That's what I was gonna say. I was hoping you didn't.
but I did send Colby out today to salt the dirt roads, cause of the ice buildup on them.
Mhm.
And right now with the ice buildup on them, any sand that you put on them, the cars driving on them just blows it off, so then you're back to straight ice again.
Mhm.
So we do what we call a hot load, and we spread that on to try to soften the ice up so the sand will stay better. So I had him do that today.
And are there any discounts if you buy in larger amounts, or is it just, it doesn't matter how much you buy, it's the same price per ton or however you're ordering it?
Do we buy on the state contract or we buy by ourselves?
No, we buy on state contract.
So I guess the answer is no.
No, okay,
Yeah. I
so
mean,
it's just the straight price.
yeah, the state, when they do the contracts, it's like a bidding thing. With the salt vendors,
Mhm.
And the state will usually pick a vendor that has a good price, good this, good that. And the company that we deal with, well, they don't get the bid for that, they honor the state price.
Same price. Mhm.
So it doesn't matter if they get it or not, we still get the state price going to the vendor that we go through.
Mhm. Thanks.
So, yeah.
Eric, I would like to see us, I know it's tough, and I know,
Yeah,
I drove around the village quite a lot in the last couple of weeks, checking my accounts and the slippery driveways and. And this is where I'm gonna harp on later about sidewalks, we need to get back on our schedule. And put 200 feet in 4 years. But the newer sidewalks were nice and early, the older ones are. There was 3 ladies walking on Pleasant Street yesterday or Saturday, and I asked them, I went down, I said, ladies, I'm not upset that you're walking. I said, could you tell me why you're walking the road? She goes, the sidewalks are so great.
yeah,
And so
I
just-
noticed the same thing on East Street, that the side that had been repaired
And
was
it's-
easy to walk on the other side. It was,
It was
it was
more,
my poor
Fine.
dog was like.
Middlebury's the same way.
around.
I mean,
There-
I
there are
run
a few-
roads in Middlebury, they're the same way.
Yeah, there are a few that will be able to do some, where the sidewalk is still high enough and we can go and trim the lawns back. We did some of that on North Street.
Now there's some of the water off.
Let some of the water off. I noticed when I was plowing the sidewalks that, the south side of East Street, there's a couple areas, where it's all low, but there's a couple areas where there's a berm on the edge of the sidewalk and then it drops off, so. Those are areas that we can figure out what we need to do and talk to the homeowners and go in and shave them.
Yep.
If the sidewalk's good, if the sidewalk's not good, then there's no sense in shaving down the shoulders and messing their lawns up.
And that's why I've left the snow on them right now, because the snow will actually give them better traction than the ice.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
So that's why I haven't gone around on the last few times. But that's the gist of it.
Thank you for all of your work.
yeah, I hear you guys going by clang, clang, clang. I know you got the chain.
Oh, that was,
You chained up more this year and you had it all last year, I think.
yeah, that was Saturday night. We started at 10 Saturday night, got done at 9:30 Sunday morning.
Yes, and oh, I noticed the other day,
That was one of the things.
Sorry.
We had a truck that slid off the road. Saturday night, up in the upper notch. Well, on the ice slid off on it, and then we left it there until we got the roads all shaped up, and then we went back up after that. And got it out. So,
wasn't that stuff bad? How do you get the grader problem?
no, we did it with a truck, fully loaded tandem. We had to unhook the plow, and then we had to shovel off half of the load to get the weight off it.
Mhm.
But we ended up getting it out, so.
I was
He
noticing,
he called me and I had my phone on private.
yeah, you know, I had, of course, you know, I looked down there and I looked out the window on about 11:30 on Saturday. I said, something happened across the road. What the, all the cars are lined up, and look, and it's a landfill going to
Yeah,
the transfer station. And I looked just about where Liberty comes there, and there was one of our town trucks. I think we ought to personally send a public notice out to say, if you're going on Saturday to the landfill, you need to park as close going that as you can to the right side of the road, because the truck doesn't dare to go down that.
well, the wing hangs out there, it's
Yeah.
tight.
Yeah, and you know, and that probably took him 15 minutes to get to a sand pile.
Be better if you could move them out of there.
Well.
Move the township.
That'll work too.
Okay,
There's the answer.
There's the answer. So, but
we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
It ain't gonna be.
I know the guys have said something to me. You know, we have to wait in line, can't go down the left side. I said, just go down.
All right, we've used up his 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Police, Bruce.
So for 2025, we completed 3,987 calls for the service. I haven't finished the report, but I started and that's where I'm at. And other than that, the usual.
That's about 10 calls a day, average, a little better than 10 calls a day. Nothing else? Questions for Bruce?
Yeah, what's that compared to last year, do you know?
It's up.
Mhm.
I think it's up by, I think 200, but I could be wrong.
Wow.
I guess
How's the new position working out?
a new position.
Okay.
The resource officer.
Resource. It's an asset and it is alleviating a lot of our follow-up calls. Cause she's able to do that for us.
It's great.
Mhm. This,
Thank you.
That? Fire Brett.
So I submitted my annual report, the only thing, we had our annual meeting of our fire department this past Saturday evening. We have our annual meeting of our county fire association coming up a week from Wednesday. Other than that, it's business as usual, no update on the pickup truck that was ordered, it's not here. Which is why I didn't have any additions to Ian's list he sent out today. But I'm happy to answer any questions you all have.
Yeah, you guys missed a hell of a meal Saturday night.
Very good.
All right, water and sewer, Jill.
Hello.
Good evening.
Jill?
Hey, so let's see. We have Bristol West water line replacement project out to bid. Steve will be giving an update on where that's at once we get to 6B. Furthermore, he asked me to talk about a potential funding opportunity that we might have due to the fact that the federal government realized that the lead service line replacement project money wasn't getting used. There's lots of money in this grant fund and it's not getting used because the way that it had been allowed to be used was just for service lines that just went out to bid as their own project under all of the scrutiny of the larger state funded project. So everybody was kind of going, no, it's too expensive. We're not going to do it that way. So EPA came back, I guess, at the end of November, reported back to the drinking water SRF that they could now start extending that out possibly to water line projects that are also replacing service lines. There's certain requirements within being able to extend it on that. And so I had about a 45-minute discussion with Amy at the end of last week about Bristol West, Bristol East, and Rockydale, stating that they're the three projects we have left that together they comprise about 50% of the water system and about 80 to 90% of anything that would need to be replaced for lead and galvanized. And so I wrote up a letter to her funding program into the EPA to see if they would consider extending that funding to at least Bristol West, if not Bristol West East, and potentially Rockydale, if at all possible, and still allow us to keep the customer side of the service line since they represent only about 10% of the project and they're on private property. If we could keep that separately funded through the town's SRF program so as to not turn those into $10, $12, $15,000 customer service line replacements and to keep it cost effective. So that's what's coming.
Yeah. Questions for Jill? All right, moving on. Yes.
I'd like to just give an update on the reappraisal. Tyler Technologies started last Monday. And I've been working with them all week to get them their information that they need, that they're going to be sending out letters to all the parcel owners to let them know that this is happening. So I've been printing all the property cards and the cost sheets and the letters for them, and they've been stuffing them and getting their files together. So we're in good shape. They're really happy with where we are, but we still got, it's gonna take a while to get everything put out for them, but it started and it's moving along.
Do they know how long it's going to take? About a year, is that right?
Yeah, it's for 27.
Okay.
Mark was saying that it's probably boots on the ground by the end of the month or middle of February, probably, maybe.
Yeah, because we're moving along.
That's great.
Consent agenda, approval of Intra-Fi insured cash sweep program with the National Bank of Middlebury. Approval of past meeting minutes, 12/22/25, and authorize warrants and any liquor and tobacco. Warrants are
$108,776.44.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Somebody want to explain what A is?
Well, we'll work our way back up through. Is there anything on the meeting minutes?
I said one.
Yeah, got it.
So they're all set?
Yeah.
All right, now we can get the explanation on A.
Yeah, but I mean, I read what was there, but just kind of explain why.
Come from.
Why and-
That was the National Bank. I just emailed them with for details. So if you'd reached out here first, I would have appreciated that. But what it is NBN will take our money in the evenings
sweep it from our account, introduce it into the enterprise system. During that time frame, they'll be loaning it basically to other banks that need short-term capital, move it around. 5 a.m. it comes back into our account along with interest.
How much interest?
Right now, the rate, whatever the rate sheet was, it was. We'll make roughly, if we invest $1 million, which would be our, I would recommend using the reserve fund account, $1 million out of that. We would net, depending on anywhere from $1,200 to $2,000 a month. And we have to do nothing, there's no actual, there is no risk.
There's no risk.
I was gonna say,
That was-
what is the huge risk if people they are lending it to or
No,
whatever doesn't come back?
It's interbank movements, it's not personal loans, it's not, they're not investing into the market, they're not investing into investment capital groups, it's moving money within banks. It's
Like
all-
within the bank, National Bank of Middlebury or within other banks?
Within other banks, so IntraFi is a national system, the other big piece that it'll do is all of our money will be then FDIC insured. Right now, we're only insured up to $250,000 per account. What they do is they break up the monies into $250,000 chunks when they move it around, and each one of those are fully insured by FDIC, so it would actually give us more protection. So,
They're also making money off of us.
yeah,
Regardless if we do this, this is just a way for us to see some money back.
Yeah, they're using our money.
They're
just-
using our money and
using it, we might as well just have our name on it when it happens.
And as far as our liquidity, it would just be overnight, basically.
Well, and actually, we can tap into any of our funds, if we needed our fund at 2 a.m,
We could.
the National Bank of Middlebury, it's
Still
what they call
honor
a
it.
shadow account.
Okay,
That there will be monies there, we need it, we can access those 24/7 anytime we need it.
okay. So we have liquidity, there's no risk of loss. That sounds good to me.
Yeah, trust me, when Emily proposed it from the bank, well, I was like, what am I missing? She's like,
Yeah,
"Nothing."
right?
She's like, it's already happening, you might as well be, and they're really focusing on municipalities.
Okay,
Is it just the grant account versus the general?
That's all I would recommend doing, since the general account moves at such a rapid rate up and down. It can go from being 1.4 right now down to $300,000 very quickly.
Okay.
So I would have to recommend just using the reserve fund, since that sits fairly stable.
right. And then the money that we earn on that, do you have a suggestion, like, where is that going to go?
Just reply back to the general fund.
Okay,
The slush fund.
well,
If you don't know-
It's for salt.
I was gonna say we can move it into salt
Yeah.
or sidewalks,
Yeah.
right?
there's plenty of other budget lines.
Yeah,
Okay, sounds like a good idea to me.
Yep.
Further questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Regular business, Bristol Fire Department appointment. Fire Chief Brett LaRose and firefighter candidate Dana, I'm gonna butcher your last name. Nagy? Sure. Did it wrong?
Thanks for correcting it, because I've been saying Nagy.
Naggy too.
Hungarian, but you can.
Got it. So yes, thank you for seeing us this evening. Dana Nagy. As a prospective candidate with the department, we've been through all our steps, you know, the interview, background checks, all that. So we're here this evening to ask for your all consideration of Dana's appointment and certainly allow you the opportunity to ask this person any questions you may have of him.
How long have you been here?
It's been almost 5 years, I mean, July 1st will be 5 years. So,
And why'd you decide to apply?
public service, giving back a little bit. It kind of fits into my career right now. And, yeah, just a little, something with the community.
Mhm.
A little something.
Yeah, exactly. That's usually how I get.
Yeah, you know what a little something is, though.
Yeah,
Chief is
I
very,
do.
very aware.
I do.
Give it a breakdown,
Yeah, he's
family first, job second, world third.
right.
Not after softball or basketball game.
No, yeah, that's okay.
Dana's he's a veteran, and sounds like he has availability during the daytime to some extent.
Day crew.
Yeah, well, it's really important. It's not to get off topic, because if you weren't all aware, myself and Deputy Chief Foreman, we're back in our office 3 days a week, so that takes us out of town. So it kind of brings us back to
Different days.
pre-COVID,
Chief, different days,
no, same days.
same days.
Same days. So it's always a concern, but you know, we're no different than any other organization around here. Everybody's struggling to include BFD for once. Now, Dana will bring us back up to 30, which is great.
Yeah.
I don't like dipping below that number, but still, it's certainly challenging times ahead for all of us. Yep, it's gonna get worse before it gets better, because unless we all of a sudden get an influx of new recruits, we certainly don't draw young people. We do have a cadet program now, as you know.
Yeah.
You know, but we're a few years from seeing if that will pay off, because who knows where they'll go after they finish their high school, you know. They go off to trade school, to tech school, move out of town because nobody can afford to live here, all that kind of stuff, you know, those Vermont stuff.
I'm glad you said Vermont stuff and not Bristol.
No, it's Vermont. You know, it is. We are feeling
Hopefully
it.
we'll change it.
Very much.
Well,
And
we'll do our best.
yeah, I'm very concerned about the future.
Well, I would say you're not alone in that.
What's that?
We'll do it together.
We'll do it together. Paid fire department, right? Just kidding.
At some point,
Some point it's probably gonna come to that.
at some point it will.
Yeah, but you know, it's our goal to continue operating the way we operate as a paid call department for as long as we can. You know, we provide a quality service, and you know, we certainly haven't let anybody down yet. We have good mutual aid. So yeah, but
That's great.
that's just, you guys need to be aware that, you know, of our struggles.
In motion.
I mean, we have Dana, Nagy,
Nagy.
come to us as a firefighter for the Bristol Fire Department.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Thank you very much.
Fun fact for you, we're only the second person in 130 years, or 130 years to be voted in January.
Oh, yeah. That's great. Congratulations. Just mentioned that Saturday night.
Jared, you're both living. That's a plus too.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Good evening. All right, Water Commissioners, Bristol West Phase 2, check in with Steve Bummer, BTM Engineering.
Oh, you have to confirm him. You missed the excitement when we opened up the Zoom rooms. Zoom bombing.
That was at the last meeting. I forgot to lock everything down. And that was a meeting that someone decided just to come in.
They must be out there just
It was a
trolling.
rather exciting video.
Good evening, Steve.
Good evening. Well, yeah, hopefully we don't have any of that excitement tonight. Conversation with Joy when I got home about that. I was like, wow. Yeah, current bid status. Hey, things are going well. We officially released the project for bid on 12/31, so New Year's Eve. Okay. To date, we have 14 contractors that have reached out to us for plans and bid specs, which is great. This is right where I was hoping we would be. I've still got, I sent out some additional emails this afternoon to a couple other firms that I haven't heard from yet. So I'm hoping we'll have a few more by the time we get to the pre-bid meeting, which is scheduled for the 22nd of January. It's Thursday. Anybody's welcome to attend. It's probably going to be kind of long and boring, but this is where all the information, the real information that the bidders are going to want is going to be relayed, right? It's not necessarily all in the plans and specs. So and bids are due on February 12th, Thursday. So hopefully we'll have some things to report to you at the meeting following February 12th. And I expect that I will have the bid review done. I've got to get it through the state also and get their approval on who the lowest qualified bidder may be, right? Assuming it's a good bid and everything checks out. And I'm hoping either by the last meeting in February or first meeting in March, we'll have something, a recommendation for you folks, right? And Jill and I and the rest of the team will be, and Greg will all be working on that together. Okay. one of the things that's gonna come up in the pre-bid meeting on the 22nd are things like event dates and limitations that you folks want to place on the contractor. If I can provide that information up front and say, okay, the town has certain events and there are certain areas you can't be in during those events. And one that comes to mind, I know last year or the year before, 4th of July parade, for instance, and the whole 4th of July, you know, if I tell them after the fact, if we get the bids in and they want to work in any one of those streets, and we tell them, hey, I'm sorry, you got to move out of here, they're gonna hit us for an extra. So I'd rather tell them up front and say, okay, it was known when you made the bid. So, you know, I always like to come in not just with a problem, but also make a recommendation, right? That whole area around the green gets used, I realize, for a lot more than just the 4th of July parade, right? You guys have farmers markets in there, I think, on, is it Mondays during the summer? So one of the things that came to mind was telling them, look, whether you work in that area in 2026 or 2027, you need to be out of there by July 1st. So in other words, that would give us 2.5 months. If we start April 15th each year, it would give us 2.5 months to work on that section of West Street between North Street and the park, call it the park exit, I guess, on School Street, as well as School Street and Park Street itself, right? And I think that's reasonable. 2.5, it's really 5 months of time if you figure it out over, you know, and I'm trying to come up with ways that have the least disruption. I don't know when does the farmers market begin? It can't be before July 1st, is it?
June.
Well, maybe there could be a little give and take here, but you know, just trying to figure out ways that we can provide them with information. We don't get hit with extras afterward, and also provide them with enough time to get it done. I can't just tell them, hey, you've only got, you know, May really to get this done. I don't think that's enough time.
Service lines on the West Street portion of it, so that would be open back up fairly soon. The only thing that's going to take any amount of time there is boring under North Street, right?
Well, you do that through.
So we're only yeah, we've got that bore under North Street. We do have the services. I think there are 3 services between the North Street intersection and the School Street intersection on West Street. Obviously we've got the open cutting to do along West Street. We're going to be using that parking area. And then we've got School Street, and if you folks decide to add, which I'm anticipating at this point you will, that little section on North School Street, call it, a couple of 100 feet of service line there. Plus we've got Park Street. You know, we're not going to want people in there when that's going on. You don't want kids in the playground. You're not going to want, there's too much going on. So I'm just trying to come up with a happy medium. I'm sure there's other events that I'm not aware of. And that's kind of what I wanted to float by you folks tonight and say, okay, what else is out there other than this also, right?
What's the construction season, Steve?
What's that?
Construction, Stephen, from like April 15th to October, November?
November 15th.
Because yeah, there's things on the park, but a lot of times they're on the weekend.
Right.
I'll start working on getting a list to you, Steve, and we'll go from there.
That'd be great. Thank you.
We can come up.
Okay, that'd be great. We've also been working on some things regarding funding. Jill, are you on?
The one we do
I'm
know
here, yes.
Sorry, go ahead, Peter.
right off the bat is Pleasant Street for the 4th is definitely off limits. I mean, if it's dug up, we have to deal with it, but it has to be passable for the 4th.
So, Peter, what dates? The 4th of July. Sorry, I'm looking at the 2026 calendar. The 4th of July in 2026 happens to fall on a Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. So do you need it for a couple of days on each side of that?
I don't think so. I think we just need to make sure there's no, you know, they're not gonna be able to leave equipment there.
On
Yeah, just,
4th of July. Okay.
But that Friday is, they do the fireworks.
The
in
fireworks.
Liberty, Pine, West Pleasant, and Pleasant are very, very big.
yeah, but that would be when they got off. That would be after they were off.
Right, but there's,
They just don't want the equipment hanging
right,
around.
you
But
don't.
what,
right,
I
someone
see
from the
what.
road or.
But hopefully by having a full list,
then we can work with the contractor and have those be nowhere near there. If works out. Yeah, we also have the farmers market on Monday. Pocock Rocks is in August. And then there's also the Harvest Festival on the Green. That's on a Saturday though.
September.
Usually on a Saturday. And that's on Main Street, but there's a little bit off, so hopefully if North wasn't, or if
Right.
was being dug up, then it'd be nice.
And I'm sure that green only gets busier as the summer moves along, right? Kids are out of school, they all want to use the playground. And that's why I was just trying to come up with a happy medium and say, okay, maybe there's a time frame early on in the year that we could get that done before things.
Meredith.
Yeah, if we can get together, as Greg said, and send that along.
Perfect. Yeah, we're working on funding. That's a whole thing in itself. And Jill has been working with Amy. Jill, do you have an update on that, please?
The letter's drafted. I sent it to you and Greg. I read it again after I sent it. I've got one typo to fix, but it's pretty much just a persuasive essay to say, come on, it's an awesome fit.
Okay.
Throw us into that other funding spot.
Can you explain it in a nutshell to folks?
Yes, I did earlier, but I will again. The part that I didn't mention, it's a 50% subsidy without having to be at 1% of the median household income for our rates. So we're already considered low income as far as under the state's MHI. So long as they consider our project to be eligible for the lead and galvanized service line replacement money, we would get 50% subsidy for our actual project, the whole $4 million project, instead of just the service line replacements, instead of having to put them out under a separate contract. I'm just trying to get them to make this special exception that we, right now, to try to bid the 40 customer side into Bristol West that's already out to bid would not, the timing is awful.
Yeah.
We don't have the easements, we don't have the design, we have none of that. And they just barely kind of went, oh, hey, we'll pay for it if you do both sides. So we will do both sides and we want them to pay for the project. It's just we're going to fund the customer side with the town's SRF program. So I wrote it as such to say, guys, it's a shoe-in. Throw us into this other thing. Give us the grant, please.
Yeah, we don't have the environmental or archaeology, which is going to require.
Yeah, if they require the environmental, the archaeological, the easements, it could be like $10,000-$15,000 per customer instead of just a couple grand per. So it's still, what she said is, if you guys use the town's SRF program, and the whole idea is to make this more affordable for the customer, which rolling in another 500,000 or 600,000 into the debt service for 40 years to me isn't more affordable for the customers to do that over 3 projects, because it makes everybody's water bills go up and the debt of the water company go way up. But she said, would the town consider some type of subsidy in the SRF program? And I said, you know what? You offer them $2 million off their 4, I bet you they could figure out how to put a partial subsidy into their $200,000 worth of SRF loans.
No brainer.
I figured you guys could figure that out if they offered it. It's I would trade 2 million for 100,000.
So if I come up with $100,000, you'll give me 2 million?
That's what I'm trying to get you.
Bernie Madoff.
I don't know. They've left me feeling a bit disappointed in the past, so I'm not putting all my eggs in their basket, but I'm still saying, hey guys, you have all this grant money. Nobody's ponied up. We're replacing almost all the lead and galvanized service lines in our entire water system.
Ready now.
It's ready now. We've got 2 projects teed up. One's already going out to construction. The other's much of the way through the design. Throw us in that other funding source. Use the money. Let the APA feel happy that they're making nice, clean water.
That's good. We'll see what they say.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Joe.
Are we all the Bristol West for the time being?
We'll be at 6B1.
Yep, I got it. So B1 would be the School Street Water Service.
Yeah, I have an update for that. I met with MAUSD and we agreed that when we break ground, they will split the cost with me and then upon completion. We'll just turn over to the town that service line for us to maintain in forever. And it's
They'll
clean.
give us the right of way or
Yep.
the easement.
Yeah. Great.
Awesome. Good job.
Good work.
All right.
Did you give them what the cost is gonna be?
Yeah.
I mean, do we know for sure what the cost is gonna be?
Well, I guess we have the estimate, right?
Yeah, I
Okay.
worked that.
All right, discussion on quick claim deed to McGowan's property in Lincoln.
Alright, so this request came in and I wanted to bring it for y'all's attention because I don't have the contextual history of Bristol to understand. But essentially, we have a right of way that crosses the McGowan property in Lincoln as from when we brought our walk down. They're just asking for a quick claim on it so they can do, I'm not exactly sure what they need to do on their property. And frankly, it's none of my business. They're just simply asking.
What they want is a quick claim so that they own the,
They own the,
They own the-
right.
yeah,
And
and
we're,
we don't-
they wanna wanna get these right.
and I,
Why?
as long as we own that property in Lincoln and it's a potential water source, I wouldn't think we'd want to give up our right of way.
No.
So that was my initial thing was, why do they want us to give it up and why would we?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, if we sell the property,
right, well, that's
if
different.
we get rid of the link, the Seth Woods there.
That's a hill.
Then I see no problem with giving up all those right of ways, but
I was gonna say, they aren't the only one.
yeah, no, they're all the way from.
They are down here.
To the reservoir.
I would second that. Please don't give up your right of ways or your other water source, please.
Okay.
So I think, I mean,
All
that's
the
my
infrastructure is
two-
underground up there, right?
What's that?
All the infrastructure was underground up there, right?
Yeah, it's just it's a 4-inch. Ductile iron, oh no, it's not ductile, it's cast iron, right, Jill?
I thought some of it was wood.
No, I don't believe any of it.
Well,
They're
Kevin asked me that.
there are purge valves all the way down
Yeah.
through there, cause I know when we rented a sugar works off of Quaker Street in the eighties and there was a purge valve in the brook there.
Okay. That's how I feel.
So I don't think we're gonna vote on that. I think that's a no for now.
Okay.
Town meeting and town report preparation.
I can talk about town meeting.
I was gonna say, who's on this one?
Well, I'm only doing the fun stuff. Greg's doing all the hard work.
Sharon.
Sharon's doing the hard work.
Oh, Sharon, I forgot about you.
Do you want to go first, Sharon?
Sharon makes everything happen, so you need everything done to go to Sharon.
You're putting her on the spot. She probably wasn't sure you're supposed to.
Was gonna
Oh.
So, okay, Ian.
I'll start, Sharon, I'll start. So, the Masons have agreed to provide food, and
Yay.
Meredith is working with them to, you know how they're usually over in the corner
Right.
with one table?
Yep.
She's gonna make them like an L so that they'll have 2 tables, and they're going to serve things that are like in crock pots that people can just put in a bowl and go sit down. And they're trying to keep it at a low price point, like $5, $7. It'll be like chili, mac and cheese, you know, that kind of
He's not
stuff.
gonna do a sausage and pepper so he doesn't
He might, I don't know. They're still working on the menu, is what he told me.
I'm not eating that.
Start requesting now.
I won't eat it, so.
And this is prior to the meeting.
Yes.
Yes.
And so, and then originally we had talked with the scouts about maybe staying after to clean up, but then we realized it might be pretty late. So instead I've organized a group of volunteers. We're gonna stay and help Meredith clean up just to make sure there's.
So we usually stay anyway.
I know, that's what I was saying. I was like, I think everybody else will help too, but I do have a couple of volunteers. So they'll help with the cleanup. And then Meredith is going to keep the kids down here like they did last year with their counselors, and they'll show a movie and have some pizzas and stuff. And then there's a couple of volunteers who are going to be posting on Front Porch Forum about their experiences, like why it's a good idea to go to a town meeting, what you learn, why people like to go. And then there's a couple of people who said they might help make like infographics, like to take stuff from our budget and try to put it in like just one picture. So like, Public Works, right? So like, what does that budget look like? What information is in the report? Can you make it in just like one picture? So we'll see how it goes. We'll run
Is
it
that
all.
something they're gonna put in like out on Front Porch Forum type of deal?
Yes, although we'll run it all by, you'll see the mock-ups and see like if it's good. We've never tried it before, so it might be horrible. and We might not use any of it, but it's just like a lot of people, they get to town meeting and they have this big piece of paper sitting in front of them. And especially now that I'm getting older too, then you have to turn your flashlight on your phone to even read that print. And there are a lot of people who say that they don't feel like they have a chance to really read the report in advance. So we were thinking, is there a way to make like pictures, like infographics that would like convey the information so that people could understand? So when we have what those look like, we'll share them with everyone and see what you think. Yeah.
Got anything else, Sharon?
Well, Thursday is the deadline for any petitions that require 5% of the voters to sign off on, which is appropriations.
Okay.
I did get something today about, I think it's the Palestinian, I didn't get a chance to look
I got
at.
some
So-
email about something.
Yeah. So I've gotta check the signatures and then we'll go from there. The candidates, I think, is the 27th, they're due,
Good.
so.
Okay, I said the 28th, but I knew it was right around there.
Somewhere around there. 27th, or it's close to that date. And then, of course, town meeting and.
You start running now, you'd probably be far enough away so you don't get elected.
I thought about trying that and Ian said he was gonna track me down, so.
She's already got a few signatures out front.
Oh, out front, okay, good, that's good. I've asked a whole bunch of people,
Go over to the recycling solid waste.
yes, we did that during the
Saturday
ARPA.
morning and just.
Yeah, we did that during the ARPA focus groups. That's where we asked everybody like what they thought we should spend the money on. We got hundreds of people. I have a couple of older ladies who are collecting signatures for me all around
I
town.
think Michelle got all hers at the meeting.
No, I didn't.
No?
I didn't harass
You
everybody.
didn't?
I only harassed a few. Once the meeting started, I was done. 'Cause I'm thinking I'm not gonna bother anybody else.
Yeah, and I think we have Sean, he knows about it in terms of doing the AV and running that.
And they're gonna have the questions available for people who are online. Are they doing that this year as well? I can't remember. Did we do that last year?
We just had, if people could leave comments and we.
In the chat.
Yeah,
And
we
then
would answer on, in the floor, on the
Okay.
floor first, and then we would answer in the chat.
And there was a request that came out of the town meeting last time, where some people had asked if there could be like a large screen that showed the motions. They're being read, but people were saying, is it possible to have the text up there? So we included in the email, I don't think it was to somebody, I think it was just to Neat. So whatever, like their main email address is, but we haven't heard back yet.
You're gonna have at least.
They wanna have it on the screen for the people who are on Zoom or on the screen for the
For
people
the
who are
people
in
in the meeting,
the meeting.
right?
If
So
it's
like-
anything like ours, they're not gonna be able to see the numbers anyway. It would have to be a movie screen type.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Do we
I think
need a
they were.
large like screen that they can put it up on? I mean,
Like-
yeah, kind of like that, not like a TV
Well,
screen. 'cause
Yeah,
you're
I
not-
like the one-
no, like
American
that.
Music on the park on Thursday nights. for
Right,
movies in
that's
the park.
That's what Meredith said, is that it would need to be a
That's
screen that you would pull down and that
Okay,
you
right.
project on it.
Yeah,
So,
and the ARPA would be,
Projecting on it.
no. I
Keep
think
it on.
Well, if you have amendments made and what the actual true motion is and making sure that is, once you project it up there, I mean, that's really the verbiage you're gonna stick with, and if that wasn't true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, and we haven't even heard back if
Yeah.
it would be technologically viable. So, but it was just a
I
request.
mean, I looked at the concept.
Yeah,
It would be nice
Well,
to have
wouldn't they-
the budget up. You could do it, but that would be. Yeah.
I mean, that's what's in the town, the
Yeah.
tax,
In the
the
report.
town report, so.
There's no, you know,
Yeah.
it's hard enough here when we know it and we sometimes have it on paper to follow it when it's scrolling. I can't imagine sitting in the back of the room up there and trying to follow it on a screen scroll.
Without having the
Not-
book. without
Yeah,
having the
not
book in
that,
front of you.
not that I have a problem with doing it, but I just don't. I think it's a lot of work for something that's not gonna be that productive.
Yeah, and we don't even know if it's possible. Mary just said what it would need to be. And then we were waiting to hear if it's possible.
Mhm.
And we're still good, Sean's gonna still have the runners with the mics.
We wasn't
We just-
runners last year, it was
Right.
just fixed positions and then people.
People came up.
Right.
You know, I
I thought the runners, the few before was quicker.
Yeah, but it's also easier if they come to the mic, cause they
Yeah.
more apt to get who it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I
You'll
know a
get-
lot of people, but I don't know everybody.
Yeah.
The only thing I think that runners might do is get the person who might wanna say something to say something. As opposed to getting up and standing in front of everybody, walking and standing in front of everybody. That's the only advantage I see to having it.
We could have both, right? If there's a free mic, we could just have somebody take it around.
I mean,
I'll do
it's
it. It means I don't have to answer any questions.
Yeah, you
right?
do, cause you'll have a mic in your hand.
You'll be more likely to answer, because you have the mic in your hand.
That's okay, would you take that?
You'll have the library question.
I will be counting votes.
Please stand.
Sharon's all no anymore.
Oh, yeah, we did, last year we did. They said have the floor vote, we had to count so hard.
That's one thing that I would like to see us improve on is this. You're going like this, it's, okay, everybody stand and.
Yeah.
We're going,
What's the other way?
So,
I
well,
don't know what the other
Takes a
one
balance.
is.
Ballot there.
well, Lincoln is doing clickers this year. Mhm.
Later.
Yeah, like we use in our classrooms, and so you click when it's enabled, you click the yes or the no, and it counts them.
Through Zoom, you mean? through
You
Zoom?
can do it through Zoom, but these are like physical clickers. Sometimes it's just an app you
App
can
on
log
phone.
into, but Lincoln, the woman I talked to, she said that they didn't want to have an app on a phone because they were worried people wouldn't be able to use it. So they're actually like little devices. It sort of looks like a garage door
Yeah.
opener. Yeah. I
So
think.
we'd have to have 150, 200 of them if we did it.
Right, but we could check in with Lincoln after their experiment this year and see what it cost them and, whether it was a good idea or
Mhm.
How do
whatever.
you not like count it twice? Sometimes there must be ways.
Yeah, it only. you can
Yeah, my
push
guess
for
is
one
you only
button.
can click once.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, here you go. That's in a row.
600 votes, you're like, people are in this room.
Vote frequently.
Early vote up.
Right.
I've been working on the town report. It's coming along nicely. We've got almost all the community reports in, which is nice. Almost wrapped up with the boards and still need to work on the capital fund reports. We were waiting for the audit changes to make that sort of dive into those. I almost have all the town department reports, and then it's just once we finalize the budget, doing all the financial reports. And then just the other ones going through the dedication and in memoriam, working on those as well. So it's coming along.
And if you could send me just like one budget, even in draft form is fine, just to kind of play around with it.
Sure.
So I can see like what an infographic would look
Okay.
like.
And I think I talked to Sharon about, since we have the local options tax, how do we actually want to have that be voted on? And it seems like we can put it onto the ballot, the actual printed ballot that we run through the tabulator. It can be a question on there.
Oh, good.
Similar,
Yes or no, so.
Right.
right? So that'll
You
make
just
it,
have to decide on the language you want in there.
yeah, that'll make it easier to run, and it'll be a hand count or a separate thing. We can also have, if we have the police question as well, that can be on the same line, because that's
Yes.
designed for townwide.
Okay. Sounds good.
Is that it for preparations? If so, we'll move on to review. Of the drafted town meeting for the police district warning, I'm sorry.
What's both?
Town meeting and police district.
Yeah.
Well,
I just was trying to make Bruce feel special. You just took it right away.
Um. So we got all the highlighted yellows obviously needs to be changed. But we've got our annual meeting warning for Monday,
It
March.
needs to be changed? Is that what you said?
Correct,
Cause I won't have candidates until the end of the month.
yeah.
So
Oh,
can't
okay.
change
I thought you were saying what was highlighted got deleted and you had to add something. No,
So you can see
you have to
opposite.
add stuff to it. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Each way it works, but it's whether, yeah.
And you're-
You guys gotta know, so March 2nd is obviously our meeting in that evening, and it runs through until the end of March 3rd, which is our voting day. Yeah, these need to be updated, a lot of those, I think it might be only one lister and one select board,
Should be two.
library,
Two
two
select-
select board members, maybe fewer library trustees and fewer school board, but this was from last year. We had talked, oops, sorry, we talked, come on.
See how handy this is, scrolling and bunching it?
Okay, I'm gonna leave it and not touch it. We previously talked about adding in more days for tax collection.
Mhm.
I spoke with Sharon this morning about this and just. We need to figure out, because it obviously needs to be on this warning. If we want to go ahead and do that, and what that means, if we divide it by 4 instead of 2, if we divide it by 3, speaking with Sharon this morning, it seems like it does add some extra work and more complications and things need to be done before you can send tax bills out. So we really need to think through if this is something we really want to do, because it is a big change.
Well, I did talk to Brandon today and they do it 4 times a year. And they're closer in size to us than like Virgin's or whatever, who does 4 times a year. What she does is, of course, we would be basing the tax rate on the draft grand list.
Mhm.
Cause ours isn't usually done until the end of July and our bills would have to go out. I would change all those to the 15th of the month.
Mhm.
So they would have to be out by the July, so we'd be basing it on the draft grand list, which is fine. She said the only issue we would have, and it's only happened once, is if you have a major mistake, like $1 million error that we had one year that changed the tax rate quite a bit. So. but
So what
she
would you
does-
do? Then have to you'd have to issue new tax bills.
For the whole, if there was something like
Right.
that, but what she does is she does do revised tax bills, and what she does, because the homestead payments, the first one is the end of June. So that would be the only one that we would have for the initial sending out of tax bills. And we get money July, August, September, and sometimes October. I mean, I send out revised tax bills now, but not every week. So what she does is every Monday, she downloads what's come in through the state for the homestead payments and issues the revised bills every week. So, and
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of paper, a lot of
a lot of
postage.
paper, yeah, we'd have to order.
What if you did 3 times rather than 4 times? And that way you can do the first one November 15th. So that you've gone through, you have all of that, and you're not having to do, any of those changes.
We can go to 3, is what I kind of figured because of that issue.
I don't know who else does 3 and what date you would actually choose.
Doesn't matter.
One of the reasons I like the 3, because this would start in this year or 27. No, it starts
27.
26. Is in 27. Going through grand list, going through new reappraisal, those listers would have 3 or 4 weeks of grievance hearings. And you may not see a grand list until, then if they file for a 60-day extension like we had to do in 93. We had only 1,500 properties when we had 800, agree their assessment.
Yeah, it wouldn't be bad if you had like a dead area to get caught up, right?
So I think the 3 would, right now,
Maybe like October, February.
because you gotta get their tax bills, gotta be 30 days before they're due.
Yeah, I was trying to think, I do a lot of tax prorations. I was trying to think they either do 2, 4, I have seen 3, but.
I don't know who does 3.
I think
Yeah,
Middlebury
I
does,
see.
I think Middlebury does 3.
3, okay,
Yeah.
I have to check that. I couldn't think of anybody off the top of my head, because a lot of them.
Chris, it'll hurt.
Well, no,
Can I take my shoes off? I do like the May one because we did it April 15th and I was one of them ones, my wife said, I said, you paid taxes? Oh, yeah. Yep, and it was the feds and state she paid and not this one, and
Right.
she got all about it, and so I think get it away from that fed and state one, too. I do like that.
Should be every 4 months instead of 3.
Yeah.
I think we're amenable to any change.
No, Middlebury only does
More
2.
increases of money coming in. to
Yeah, I can
cash
see
flow.
that, but who does 3, I'll send that out.
We can be different though, do our own thing.
Yeah.
I know when we couldn't get that, in '93, we didn't get a penny of grand list until it was late August. Before they got all the appeals, 70 of them went to the State Board of Appraisers. I was here in August with the State Board of Appraisers, 70 of them. And 200 went to BCA. Oh, that was a bad year.
So I'll check into 3 years, see if there's anybody out there that does it and think about it a little more.
Thanks, Sharon.
Yeah, you can scroll.
Oh, yeah.
That's the same percentages we've had, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
They're the ones we've approved.
well, those are the ones that we keep getting changed. No, the last one, the Article 4 is the one that I think you keep.
Are we gonna leave it at 4? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause it's 2 for this year.
Yeah.
Leave it at
We
4.
should put it back, we should put it at 8.
Yeah.
Because then they'll want it to 4.
He's gonna speak on that person.
Well, of course they.
Salaries remain the same, unless Bill wants to fight for raising them again.
Yeah.
This year.
These are yet to be filled in with our finalized amounts.
Okay.
That is the final Lawrence Library amount. And
The Bristol Rescue Squad, that's the new amount for this year, right?
It's the
For
same
the
as
per
last
cap,
year.
it's the same.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay.
This happens to be the same as last year,
Okay.
but it more
That's
than
the per
likely will
capita.
change.
No,
Correct.
right.
It'll change every year.
You're right. Mhm.
Some of these have been filled in, the ones that haven't, we're still waiting on, people to get back with the final amount. I'm assuming, in the budget at least, we're just level funding, same as last year for most of them. 4th of July.
Yeah, 4th of July will be going up, but I don't know what amount they're at.
Well, they're going after every town.
Yeah, in fact, New Haven already called me about it.
Yeah, they called me too.
New Haven called you?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, they wanted to know if it was gonna be annually, and I said, I would assume so. Well, don't you fund it? I said, yes, we fund it, but I said, I'm guessing that the
We fund-
committee.
We fund way more than what you're
The
gonna fund.
committee is not part of the town. They're a committee that puts on the 4th of July celebration, and what we're doing is what they're doing is looking at spreading the cost to the other
Because it's
people
gotten
who
so more
come.
expensive.
Right.
Yeah.
And they said,
It's the fireworks.
they said that, it's nothing for North Street in New Haven to be packed with cars, people watching the fireworks from New Haven.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, they were trying to figure out if they could put it under their social services policy. That's what she was calling about, like, well,
well, originally, there were a couple of board members that didn't even want to allow it.
mm,
And I said, well, if they petitioned, I don't know if you really have a
Yeah, I
choice.
don't think you can unless you got a policy that says that.
Yeah, you can if it's based on policy, but it's also the statute has specific language, but almost all the organizations that we have on our list fall under that language. I guess you could maybe make the argument that the 4th of July doesn't, but I don't know, it's quite broad.
Could I ask about Article 17 and 16?
I mean, the reverse ones, yeah.
Yeah, but why are they split out and not in the chart?
because you have to get signatures 3 years in a row.
Mhm.
And if you change the amount, then you have to start at
Over
one
again.
all over.
Okay,
So they're separate. The ones
okay,
that are in the
Level
other part
funded.
is level
Okay.
funded. They didn't ask for any more money.
Okay.
When they do, they have to give us signatures and I have to check on it.
okay,
But then they become their own article.
okay, that makes sense.
What is the amount, or what was the amount for the 4th of July last year?
100,000, I think.
No,
85.
85, I was gonna say 8,500.
But last
So I
year
didn't
they
lie to
said-
them, I told them I thought it was 6, so.
Yeah, no, that was a little while ago.
Number
8,500.
Yeah. So do we know what they're asking for this year?
I don't know, I thought it was gonna be like 12 or 13 or something,
That's what I was.
but I didn't actually see the petition.
Well, they got 4 days left to get it in, right?
Thursday.
Oh, it's been all over Facebook.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
They better hurry up.
Christine's been in a bunch of different places too, getting signatures.
So one thing I did with this, maybe last year, maybe the year before, was split out the social organizations to Bristol specific as well as then countywide. Is that still okay to do in terms of being able to understand it?
Yeah, I like
Can
that.
I ask a question about the, Have a Heart Food Show?
Yes.
Was that last year that they
Yeah.
upped it from the floor?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
6,000.
is that what they upped it? Oh, so they upped it to 10, so we're back to what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the 10 only sits for a year and
Okay.
it says,
Well,
unless
I
they,
just couldn't remember what the
Yeah.
number was.
unless they want a petition, I guess, and then they'd have to get signatures.
Signatures, right?
No,
Okay.
they just asked for 6 this year.
Okay.
Porter Knight was planning on doing a post on Front Porch Forum, just reminding people about the tax implications and suggesting that if people want to make donations, like you can make as big a
Stop,
donation.
stop changing the numbers at the town meeting.
Right, because the very people who they're serving then have to pay for it, right?
True.
So.
So that's it. It's quite a short warning.
It's all right. It's still.
And then we're gonna, and
Rec clubs last year, 15 or 18.
are you, and this is where you're gonna add the lot tax, no, that's gonna be on the ballot.
Right.
And
So
the
we'll
police.
have
But it
to
just
separate.
needs to be in here.
Mhm.
Anything on the ballot has to be.
Has to be,
here.
in-
You have to
Has to
explain
be.
it here, has to be on the warning.
Has to be on the.
so it'll be, it'll be down at the bottom, it'll
It'll be
say,
its own article.
I might want to put it since we
For
introduced.
discussion only, I would say, right? For the local option tax, it would say.
Yeah, if you, it's.
It'll be something like
Probably
this.
similar to this.
Right.
This, you're not voting on this, but we're saying, and we corrected the language last year, saying to elect the following officers by Estonia ballot on Tuesday. So I think we would add the lot
Right.
right here at the top of the page and just saying, here's what you're who you're electing, and then here is a specific article about the local option tax.
Mhm. And then we could discuss it in the meeting, but it's
Correct.
voted on
Yeah.
the next day. Okay,
Yeah,
Well, that would be like the next article,
yeah.
correct.
wouldn't be with two.
and the police district.
Police
Question,
district.
would that be in that same spot?
Yes, if that's on the ballot, then it'll be Article 3 or Article 4, however we want to do it.
Yeah.
Joel, you said, when did you last?
I worked club one last year, with a 15 or 18.
Let's see, hang on.
So we're not going to have when you said police, so we're not going to have.
A
6,
meeting for
7
this?
with
No.
police.
No,
Right,
the
last-
meeting, the
Yeah.
two meetings are gonna
Yeah.
be. before.
15,000.
Last year we did them,
2 Mondays.
yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, we
And
have,
he's got that on
Our
the, he's
meetings.
got that on the warning.
right,
Okay.
so that's our meeting there, and then if we do that, and then do this.
We're following this at town meeting, picker up on the big screen.
Just don't let Ian get a little.
Don't let Ian-
Doing this-
So this is the
Bigger,
police,
please.
bigger.
I went to the eye doctor today,
Yeah.
he didn't give me the good.
So yeah, we have 2 informational meetings.
And these numbers are correct that are in there, or they have to be?
This is what we currently have the budget as. We haven't approved it, but I just put this
Yeah.
number in so you can see it.
Mhm.
And then we have the 2 meetings, the Monday, 9th and the 23rd at 6 P M. Last year we were at 6:30, but we're doing 6 P M. So that's where we're at with that. Any obviously any corrections that we make to that particular budget, we change here and then we keep updating. So I'll bring that back again, in 2 weeks, see where we're at.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Budget review, contingent budget review for 2026 then. Budget.
Not much changing with this particular one. We've got some discussion in executive session. I just wanted to bring it up again, just so we're,
We're talking about general?
yes. Just find it, here we go.
Well, you sent us the police one, that's why I asked, we're talking general.
No, the general is such an unwieldy document, it's hard to sort of format it. correctly, and it also has all the breakdowns of the personnel, and so I don't tend to post that, but it is on Basecamp, what you can think about. Yeah, the water district and the sewer and the police haven't changed since last we spoke. We are, let's see. Let's take a look here. It's pretty much the same. Let me just bring it up. Okay. Okay.
So right now it's at 13%.
Correct. We're a little bit higher, so there was a change in, I think, the overtime numbers for public works. It wasn't accounting for new updates to salaries in terms of overtime numbers, so I popped those in. I also noticed that for the listers, the number we had in this was higher than what we actually had in the town report last year. And I looked through, and I think it's based on, we have in our personnel tab, which I won't go to because it breaks down everybody. Essentially, we have them down as 15 hours each, and looking at a report from 25, they do about 10 hours each. So I don't know if we want to take that down, or because the appraisal's happening, whether we would leave it as it is. But it jumps, that's why it's sort of high when we look at it here in general. It's at like 60 something thousand.
67 or something.
Yeah, 61 right here. And it's really around like 40,000 is what we're paying at the moment, given the hours that are happening. But I don't know how it changes with the appraisal, if listers are working more or the same hours. I'm not familiar.
Well, they'll have grievances too.
Yeah, but they haven't been doing any of the work I've been doing to get the new team up and running.
Okay, so you're doing the work first.
I'm doing the work right now.
Okay,
Yes.
and will you continue to do the work, or would?
Well, hopefully, once we get past this, there won't be a big amount of work to do that will require my help anyways,
Okay.
but right now, I'm doing what they need for documents and whatnot, so.
Okay,
I'll follow up and see if it needs adjustment.
okay. It's something I noticed that was like, I was just curious why it was so high, and it was just the amount. I looked at the amounts that were from 25, and it was around 40 or 41, so it is an area that we
Yeah,
if we
because they're
wanted
usually
to.
only here 3 or 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
Monday through
Yeah,
Thursday.
so we could, that's why.
It wasn't one year that we had for the, I don't know how many years, the contract was, we got rid of the contract with the.
With the
outside-
assessor.
Yeah, to the outside assessor.
I do know that I went through 3 appraisals here, 15 years I was here, and you work a lot more. That one year was just brutal.
Okay.
We lived here.
But that will.
Because
be
you
under-
upset everybody.
No, the appraisal company. When they'd say, come on in, no, you don't have a porch, I know you, yeah, they got me down for a porch or. So,
Okay.
well, we worked a lot more out.
Yeah, this is something I know.
Okay.
Yeah, everything else was the same. I put a few notes in here just in terms of, so it details out, these big percentage changes and the reason why. Switching from ARPA funding to a permanent budget, increase to 40 hours, increase to 40 hours, so it gives us a little bit more information. But everything else is what it was before we looked at it, too.
Also, in retrospect, you go back to community resource specialists, obviously, we're late on the game now, but I think next year. Or we'll try to position ourselves to get some grant funding to offset that, because that was originally offset by ARPA and you do.
To get the position started.
Yeah, but we didn't really think about long-term sustainability, and that position is absolutely critical to chief and. So as.
Well, it's critical to the whole town. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's
Not just
the
the
reason it's in this budget and not in his budget is because it's used throughout the town and.
Sure.
And everybody should be paying for it. Everybody should be paying for his budget, but that's.
Yeah, I'm just speaking generally.
Pissing people off already.
I do have a question. I actually do have a question about, and I think I asked Greg, the contracted services for PD for the town.
Yeah, it should be.
Like the non-district services?
Correct.
Yeah, I haven't got those numbers for you.
Okay, well, the question, just so everybody is aware, the question was, when we put $1 in here, what does it cost a district resident? So if we put $1 in here and it costs the district as resident another at 50 cents, then they're paying for half of it. If we put $1 in here and it costs them 20 cents, then maybe our ability to shift some more of that budget here and lower their budget.
Gotcha.
Well, isn't there a way?
Lower the district residents.
Oh, the district
Well,
resident.
no, I mean, isn't there a way that if it's non-district, then why is the district paying?
If it's because they're town residents.
Yeah.
Right,
You
but,
you can't separate, you can't take that out of their tax notice.
well, I don't know. You have district, you have a tax for the district only people. Why can't you do a tax for the non-district people?
It isn't part of your taxes.
Yeah, but what I'm
It's in the
thinking is
general
like
fund.
you,
They're in the general fund.
It would have to be a separate
Separate.
tax,
Right.
which would mean,
Non-district tax.
which would mean
We have to
you'd
vote
be
on
telling
it.
people that you were passing that cost on to just them.
right,
Yes.
but that's technically the case.
That is, yeah,
Yes.
But I mean, maybe we talk about that after we figure out what the decision is on townwide.
well, I think that number would be helpful,
Mhm.
you know, just so that we can say right now, or when we, so that we know if this doesn't pass. If this doesn't pass, we know we have to do something.
Mhm.
And so is that raising the contracted services and taking that money out? If it depends on how much $1 is costing a district resident.
It is double taxation.
Right,
Um,
we all
but-
know
But
that.
I worked it out, I think for me, I'm in the district, and I'm also obviously a taxpayer on the whole, I think it was like $4 a year. That's what it cost me.
For the contracted services.
Correct.
Non-district.
It's a very, very small percentage.
So what I'm saying is if we reduce the district number.
Yeah.
By X amount of dollars and we put contracted services
Yeah. It
on
would
the,
blend and even
and
out.
it would blend because it's not fair. Michelle, you got your gun with you? It's not fair that Michelle and I are non-district residents and we come in here and we get the exact same service that you district residents get.
Well, hopefully I don't have to use those.
No,
services.
no, but you know, so if you're not paying tax, I don't pay a police tax. If I come into town and I have an altercation, an accident, anything. It isn't the state police that deal with it, it's the district police that deal with it.
Mhm.
I mean, should Bruce say, no, you're not a district resident, you have to wait for the state police to come?
But that's an
That
argument
It
for
happens
anybody
every-
who's out
yeah.
of town too, that comes in and has an issue.
Absolutely.
And they pay nothing.
Absolutely.
Figure that great big yellow thing that drives by my house 4 or 5 times in the summertime and to go grade roads, $380,000-$400,000 truck, or grader. I never seen it on my street, except you graded the Pine Street after the water thing and it,
And they'll peel ice with it,
well,
and you drive on the town roads occasionally.
I do, you're right.
You can't get out of here without
I
driving.
pay for sidewalks and I don't, but I
Well,
can't.
you can, you don't own them.
You're gonna buy some land then.
That's great. Okay, we're opening up a can of worms here.
I think that number would be helpful.
I guess, I don't mean to put this on Bruce, but it would. Well, we've got a magic number that we said we want the town to help pay, to go down, and check the parks and go out and do the things that state police won't cover. Are we, when the end of the year, you said you had 3,800 or 3,900 calls this year, have we? All those calls that were in the town, is there enough, was that too much money we sent them? Or we asked for, or not enough? I guess, you
Well,
know,
We're talking
those
about
calls
the
are separate. it's only the only thing contracted services pay for is what we would, like, what we were
Say
paying.
non-district services. 'cause
Non-district
you're
services
screwing me up.
pay for is our speed patrols and our park checks or whatever he does. If
Well, if he
state
gets a call.
police, if the state police call and he goes, he bills, right?
Right.
The town.
Yeah,
Yes.
He bills the town.
yeah. And he only bills $60 an hour, so it,
We build more than that.
okay,
But
It's going up.
okay, well, it needs to, I
So
mean,
I guess what I'm saying is, if 10%, just 10% of his calls were in the non-district of those 38 or 3,900 total, do we ask them for 10% of FICA, 10% of police car capital, 10% of everything, or just no, we build you the 30?
I think we need to know what it costs the district residents, because it's not. For every dollar we charge out there, what are you gonna pay? Because if we raise that out there and we don't cut back
How many
the
district
district
residents?
budget, then you're gonna pay more.
How many district?
And that's not what we're looking to do. We're looking to reduce the taxes in the district and get the town the townspeople to bear more of the burden.
Right. To
I
equalize
mean,
it.
they just I took my tax bill and looked at it, and it has, or somewhere has there that says, okay, I pay so much for schools, so much for general, so much for public works. Then there's the police down there.
$650 probably.
And I figured as a resident, if we join forces and had just one police budget for the entire town, I would pay just about what I am paying for my public works. Because he's got almost $1 million budget, and we probably need almost $1 million budget for police. I'm just going by what Brandon, as Sharon says, Brandon is about same size as us. I'm not saying we're ready to put a budget together, by no means. But I said, my taxes would go down about $300, $250 to $300 a year. If I just looked at what I'm paying for public works, it's 950,000, or last year, the budget was. Okay, and we'll say I pay about that much, and I said, I'll say to the voters, look at your tax bill and what you paid. Public works is probably what you're gonna pay if we went townwide for police tax. Just for rough.
So if you, Peter, if you figure that there's 650 district and it's $5 a year, if you calculate right, that's $3,200. That they're paying.
32.
Non-district,
32 of the 20,000.
15,000 or whatever it is. 3250.
But at some point, I thought as a community, people are going to come together and support your department.
Mhm.
It's a community. And this is the only department that isn't shared for the entire town.
That was probably a mistake way back when.
Yeah.
I was not somewhat involved with Edmund. And there was just we needed to merge, but there was just no way we were gonna merge unless they put that on the table. That was a bargaining chip. Okay, it will merge. You take your own police department, keep it. We do want nothing to do with it. Was that probably a bad move now? Yeah. But we would still be a village in town. And I used to watch those 3 town trucks go by my house with blades up.
They still
do. I'd say, Bob, why can't they? Two, no, they plow it all over on my side. They go down the left side all the way.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, we got some work to do. on
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
All right,
Are we gonna, okay, we're going.
are we done with the budget for now?
Yes.
I just wanted to plant that seed because it's a discussion we need to have and we need to figure out which way we're headed with it.
I would like to discuss the budget a little more on general and the public works, and a couple of lines I'd like to look at, if we could, and I've got some suggestions. And Greg and you and Ian can, put the numbers in later, you don't need to tell me now, but can we look at the window replacements? I know you put in about $50,000 for anything else here.
Is
That was maintenance.
capital reserve maintenance fund?
No,
We've done deferred maintenance.
It was general building maintenance.
Yeah,
yeah.
we haven't done anything, because we don't have any money, to do it, but we got, we have
That's
a
in the
lot of
budget.
defer, we got about 15 years of defer, ever since you renovated this place, you haven't done enough maintenance. And so we got a lot of things that need to be touched up.
It's this one.
Okay, what if we did that, and I'll stand right here, look at the owl, and commit to this on the TV, that if we did that over a 2-year period, but we do it all in 2 weeks or a month. Put 25 or 30,000 there. And started in June of 27 with this year's budget. But this board,
Next year's budget, this is next year's.
well, next year's budget. And then when we're sitting around next year making it the 27, 28 budget, we have to commit to, okay, we're halfway to those windows. Instead of we wanted 50 last year and we only took 25 or 30.
I think the number could be,
going forward every year.
I think the number could be negotiated, but
And
what
then,
you have to realize is that if you don't budget and allocate to this, there's several ticking time bombs of maintenance thing, deferred maintenance that are happening in this building. So if you don't budget me anything, I'm gonna have to take that money from somewhere when the sewer line in here goes out, which is, we've got plumbing stuff that we need to deal with, and
Heat pump crap out, because they're at the end of their life already.
yeah. Also, we have
The water that builds up. on
I just-
the building.
I just-
No, the entryway.
okay, then I did talk to Eric a month, so, well, it was Christmas Day, I think, it was the day after, I went over and give him a Merry Christmas, and maybe the day before. And I just said, Jared, I thought, Eric, I was looking at your budget, and I saw the trees went up. Cutting all the trees.
Yeah, it's because it's a savings. And so here's the deal with the tree trimming aspect of that in Eric's line is that every year we do about half of that or something close to that, and they come out for 2 days.
2 or 3
And,
days, yeah.
right,
That's what
and
he
we
told
get behind on it, and we're still not, in terms of services, getting ahead of getting those trees. And so Eric worked out a deal with them where we could get their entire company out for a week. And by getting them out for a week, we'll be caught up.
Here again, I would like to do that in a week. June of 27 and July of 27, not that last week, and spread it out over a 2-year period.
I mean,
I just can't. Greg, I'm sitting, I can't put to the voters almost a 13% increase in the budget.
well,
I just, I don't know how the rest of the board feels, but I just.
so would you like me not to?
No, I wanted, no.
Because that's what we're trying to do.
You
We're
wanna-
trying to actually,
What, you
the
got
way-
22,000 in the trees?
the way you're doing it now is not cost effective, and I'm bringing you huge savings by doing it all at one time. Versus barely keeping up with what we're doing.
Where's, okay, there's the tree work. We went from 86 to 22. I'm willing to say 15 here this year and 15 next year. And we're gonna
But I
still do
don't-
it, we're
but I
still
don't-
gonna do it in
But
27.
it's predicated on, Eric, when can they do the,
When can they do, they're in
Yeah.
the winter time,
so in the fall?
in the winter, so they go from December 15th to. March 15th, I think, they have that time window.
Because of the bats.
So are we
Well,
not
I don't
gonna,
know about the bat, but that's basically when. They lay their guys off if they don't have any work by December, the slow time, so what they're doing is. They're trying to find enough work to keep their guys off and unemployment and working.
These rough work, they field work, they can.
So they do these
Projects.
projects,
Coastal road.
programs or whatever,
Close to the road.
and down in, where are they?
Pittsburgh.
They're in Pittsburgh.
Is this
There's
one?
3 to 5 towns down in that area right now that have signed up with them for this maintenance item for trees. So what they do is they come in, they give you, for that amount of money, they give you a week worth of time. And you put them on a road and say you want the size and it can't be trimmed. Take it off, or just, trim what you gotta do, take it canopy up. So box trucks and, so they don't get smashed or whatever. And you guys know as well as I do that. Our roads are grown in bad. So this is a way to get back into getting them widener. Up the can, to get them opened up again. And then, depending on what road we put them on, if it's a small road or a light road that doesn't need much, they can bang out maybe 2 or 3 roads in a year. In that week worth, not a year, but in that week worth of time. So right now, they're on Lower Nos, they started today. And for the amount of money that we negotiated with them this time, we got them for 2 days. So tomorrow, that's it, they're done, and they won't. they may get a third of the lower notch done in the 2 days. But if we put them on, let's say, for example, with a week worth of time, I'm saying, if we put them on Carlson Road, they could probably do Carlson Road, Cove Road, and
Lover's Lane,
maybe Lover's Lane in that week worth of time. You know, so by doing that, you'd have them go around the whole town within, say, 3 to 5 years. They'd have everything cut back, canopy all back up in time, and then if you wanted to, you could cut back on the money and just do one road a year, just trim. They won't have as much to take. You know, probably
Probably
Greg and I were talking, we're just trying to get back on track to get everything up and out. So you don't hit the mirrors, the box trucks don't hit, just trying to get everything.
Fire trucks don't rip stuff off of them.
Yeah, the other side of that is that those roads will be easier to maintain if they get daylight to them.
Yeah,
Than if they're in
be
the
less in
shade
the
all the
winter
time.
time for sanding, they'll be, well, especially on pavement, it'll take less salt. If you open them up to get sun in there, and you know that, to get it melted off. It's just,
You have to take a lot of trees out up my way. Get the sun,
Yeah.
get the sun in there.
but it was just, they came up where he approached me, called me actually on it and wanted to know, so I had him come up and we went looking at the lower notch and everything and came up with a figure and so. And that's what the other towns, they're doing the same thing, they're doing that same.
But I think what he's saying, Joel, is he's not gonna have it done in 1 year's time. He's got 5 years worth of work if you want him. You'd have to do that. You wouldn't.
You'd have
And
to do
Greg's
that
side of it, yeah.
about 5 years to get everything caught back.
Well, it would take you 10 because you'd only be able to do it every other year, putting it in 2 years.
Yeah.
Right, it would take you twice.
No, I was lowering it from 22 down to 15, or from 85, we had budgeted, go up to 17, which is double, not tripled it. Almost 22 is almost tripled it.
I think you take 25 out of there and you take 25 out of the building fund and you take 15 out of that, and I don't think you're gonna see a percent difference,
Pretty close.
just a percent.
If you half both of those, you get a percent.
So you need another 100,000 to get in 2-3%.
Yeah.
Eric, is this Valancourt's, what used to be Valancourt's? No.
McCullough,
They're a good crew, they go quick, they're fast, efficient. I do gotta speak with, they are very clean. I do gotta speak with them tomorrow when they come in, because what they did today. I wasn't too impressed. So I do have to talk with them tomorrow when I send them out on the next section up there to make sure that they do better.
What you want.
Well, it's certainly a line that we can adjust if need be.
I just think, this is why we have a 13% increase this year, because every year we sit here and we take $1,000 here. We spend hours taking $1,000 here, $1,000 there, and then we'll add a line somewhere with 10 grand in it and lose everything we saved. And at some point, we've got to bite the bullet, and it's gonna piss me off paying that extra tax, but
Well,
I certainly be welcome to, I'm just telling you what I need. I just don't wanna get in a situation where we got a major plumbing issue and we're not budgeted for. But I mean, these are known things, it's not speculative in any way that like these need to be fixed, like we know it needs to be fixed.
and it would make more sense to do the windows when they were doing everything else.
Yeah, it's a hard pill to swallow doing $1 million project on top of me and my window, our windows on this side are rotting out, we got water sitting flush against it, and it's just like. It's hard.
Yeah, every post in the building is, all the decorative posts we have, every single one of them, the pine is rotted off from them. Because they put interior pine on those. There is no more pinning it back together and fixing it. So that quote alone, I think was 12 grand to do that.
They're using the PVC board.
Whatever the new- Yeah, some sort of.
And it's not just, I mean, those are definitely increases, but, we have a big one here in terms of our capital building. We're offsetting the costs of the project upstairs because we didn't receive as much funding as we hoped. So that's a big jump as well. So I mean, all of these things, and that's necessary. We can't touch that because we're gonna need to take it from somewhere. And, you know, so it's the two lines that you talked about, Joel, it's, you know, it's multiple pieces of some very large upgrades this year, you know, for this year's budget. Did you have others that you want to talk about?
Nah, no bother.
What is it? It's up for discussion, Joel. It's not that we don't wanna bother, it's just that we can spend.
Do we know what we got back, sorry, Peter, do we know what we got back, or are we going to have any from the audit of 24, 23, 23, 24? We used to sit here and go, okay, we've got 250,000 we didn't spend.
So I can tell you, you're not gonna have any of that. So you did the 24 audit, and then given on what I've seen so far, there's gonna be,
No,
we have to talk about
On the side.
being overspent in terms of. Briggs, Lincoln, in that time frame, and so we overspent so many lines. There's gonna be no unrestricted funds or whatever you guys call it.
Unassigned.
I mean,
Unassigned.
And a lot of times too, we worked with those for many years, but the reality was.
They weren't there.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And so when the time came to add extra money to those funds, it was predicated on us having those funds. We didn't have those funds. We thought we did.
well, we set a water budget that I still think is wrong. Honestly, we set a water rate that I think is wrong. Because that water department owes this general fund thousands of dollars. I think we ought to call for it. Call the bank, say, hey, not the bank, call the water department, say, we want our money. That's a private fund, that water department.
What do they owe us?
For what?
The water department owes the general fund or the other way around?
Well,
Paving line. That's-
not so just the, no, not that $2,500 payment line. How did we pay for all of Pine Street and all of Steve's work
Out of the general fund.
out of the general fund? There you go. And that should have been billed to the water department and say, you know, the rate's gotta double.
That's where the bond is.
And that's what we're working on now. We're already working on it. But it's not gonna change.
But here I am, a water user and a police district taxpayer, and I'm saying that him and her and the rest of the people who live in the town shouldn't have to pay out of the general fund that water. We shouldn't. Call a local bank or MT, whoever we want to call, and say, we need $2 million bond. Or what do you call it? And tax anticipation note
Well, so it was for that.
to pay for the water, Steve's improvements and Steve's work and all this.
But
I
that's
mean-
part of the bond, right?
Correct, so it doesn't,
So
it
it does
doesn't
get
really,
paid
it
back.
doesn't really matter. It's, you could have had it come out of the water fund. The water fund is mixed with the general fund, even though it's its own district, the water's, it's all mixed together. So we paid for that project and we were reimbursed, and so the general fund paid for the project, was reimbursed. And then the bond that's being paid is paid directly by the water district.
So
So it doesn't
we
really
were
matter.
reimbursed.
Correct.
We haven't been reimbursed for Steve's work.
Yes, it's happening. We got.
Well, I'm looking at Sharon to get an answer, please. Yeah, I'm sorry. Have we been, the bond paid for Steve's work on Pine Street and all the digging that went by my house and all that and paving. The bond, now we're paying a monthly payment or a yearly payment for 30 years on Pine Street, correct? But how are we paying Bristol West? His service.
Right now, it's coming out of an account, and we will be, I believe, we filed a document.
We just,
And it was approved, we just haven't seen money yet.
yeah,
So that money will come back.
It will come back.
about
because they approved-
280,000.
Yeah, we just haven't seen it come through
Yeah,
yet.
but we.
We did-
So
we
the town
did
voters been
submit.
paying until we get it back, paying for those bills. So, okay, so if it comes back next year, are we gonna see a surplus at this round table? To say,
Well, we'll have to talk to the accountant, but just, I mean, when we get audited, there's no difference between the general fund and the water enterprise fund. The federal government does not care if you
I
separate
mean, that I just can't fathom, because I look at the city of Virgins council has a budget. And then the Virgins Pay and Water District is a separate board, and that's
Separate board, there you go.
But we're a separate board.
Separate
We-
entity.
And
Right.
I think we are a separate entity under one.
You can't.
We have to.
Community
Commissioners are
cannot be the
separate.
same entity, but a different entity.
I mean, you could split it out and have it be separate. You could have it so it's a separate account, as opposed to that being all mixed together in the general fund. You could do that, and we could choose to do that. It
I
adds,
thought it was an enterprise fund, and I thought, because it was an enterprise fund, I thought it had to be separate.
It is.
But it's not, he's saying it's all part of it's all part of a. I mean, they keep separate the numbers,
yes,
but the fund itself is part of the bigger.
So the cash is all in the same account, the funds are different. So it's fund accounting 101. Cash and funds are very different. All the cash goes in one spot. The fund is what you allocate. You say you put $1 million in the water district. Then as that money comes in or goes out, that fund is adjusted. That's your budget. The cash is the cash. If it's in that spread, if
Whoever needs it gets it.
$100,000 worth of water payments come in, it goes into our bank, and that gets allocated to the water fund. If $100,000 worth of property taxes come in, it gets allocated to the property tax fund. So that's how that works. The bank account is irrelevant.
To the chief's budget, police budget, we don't do that.
Yes,
yeah, same thing.
No,
we have
his is covered under taxes.
we have one bank account, Joel.
I get that, but his budget is covered under taxes. The water department's budget is covered under water users and the general fund till we get some bonds, till we get our grants. And I don't think we should have done that.
If we, well, let's roll this forward. If we go to build a new building for the police department, on the front end, we'll probably use the money out of the general fund to front load that until we get the money at the end. Because the reimbursement bonds, we have to have the cash up front. So instead of paying interest on it, we borrow from ourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, we're saving tens of thousands of dollars. In the last tax anticipation note you took out, you spent 12 grand in 1 year in interest.
But how much did we borrow?
300,000. So let's just,
Yeah.
I guess,
so borrowing money from the bank is silly.
but
Borrow from
we borrowed,
yourself.
if we had borrowed 300,000 for the water department. And I don't know how much we've paid BTM and for ruling Bristol West yet. We're not talking the price,
No.
because that's good.
We have all those numbers. You can ask for those numbers.
What would our percentage be? Would we be looking at a 9 or 10% if we didn't have?
We didn't have the town's purse strings.
Didn't have the town, we had a tax anticipation note, and yeah, my water bill went maybe from 95 to 125 because you took out a $300,000 note and you got.
Pay 12,000 in interest.
Which is one of the reasons why
We get our,
we don't.
I guess that's where I don't know what we've paid BTM so far. He's done a lot of good work and we're ready to go.
We've paid him hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Out of the general fund,
Correct.
we raise
But
taxes.
the general fund, as Chris described it, it says you're using that cash, so you don't have to borrow. The same with having our capital funds. We have two bank accounts. We have the capital funds. We move funds from that to offset when we have fewer funds in-house. We move those back. It's a very fluid thing. It's constantly moving. But it's very different than your normal accounting when you look at your bank account and you look at your Quicken or whatever, however you do your accounting or your logbook, and it's a 1-to-1. It's not really a 1-to-1. But everything is, if you look in NEMRIC, everything is in NEMRIC. Every single transaction, everything.
No, I'm not
Moved back and
saying
forth.
any of that. I just.
Right.
I'm not
But I
saying
mean,
any of that.
as Chris said, you would have to borrow for the water, for that project. We would have to borrow a lot of money, pay extra interest, which gets added to our water district payers. So that we have to change that amount, it goes up.
And we're probably gonna borrow coming up. I mean,
Correct.
the reality is,
Yes.
on this front end, supply line, we need to buy $1 million worth of pipe and
Right.
stuff. We're borrowing that on the front end. We're gonna.
Because
That interest, but that interest, if we're borrowing it for that project, that interest should be paid for through that project.
Correct,
And the water.
and it will be.
Yeah.
The reason Pine Street was done the way it was is because we had enough cash in-house because of the ARPA funds to be able to use that to offset those costs and not have to borrow. Because the idea is that we know that it's a $12 million project over the next 6 or 8 years. We're trying to keep the cost down as much as possible. If we don't, what happens is what we're paying for water now, we pay 100, 110. It's gonna be in 2 or 3 years, it could be 200 or 250 if we don't look at those things.
Right.
That's the thing. I mean, hopefully with what Jill talked about this evening, we're actually get it in a much better position than what we've calculated.
So basically, if I'm understanding all this right, we're basically borrowing from ourselves.
Correct.
Yeah.
You've been borrowing for
Well,
yourself
right.
for years.
Yeah,
But you know, it's when you're not looking at the numbers and looking at it like that and you're in
Well,
debt,
that's-
you're just.
But you know.
You're just, okay, it works, but then.
That's how
Then we
we
got
got,
slapped in the face and said, okay, it didn't work very well.
well, it didn't work when we borrowed from the landfill closure fund and to fund the 18-month budget when we went from a calendar year to a fiscal year and it never got paid back. And that's why we ended up in trouble with the state because we didn't have the money in our closure fund. So it did bite us.
Yeah, so last year, like when we borrowed from ourselves, it was right near late September, early October. And we just needed a bridge to get through until the first round of tax money comes in. We're not borrowing long distance with ourselves, like the landfill one was, so. It's very careful and calculated. I mean, with last time we borrowed from ourselves, we ran the budget right down to as close as we dared.
Done with the budget for now?
Now.
For now? Well, I know it's for now. Select board roundtable. Joel.
I have a couple of things I wanna, it be an executive session.
And I already talked about mine.
Okay, Michelle,
I got nothing.
Ian, I'm good. Greg,
I just wanted to say give kudos to GVW as in kicking butt and working really hard. Been in some dangerous situations, so, but they're keeping our roads as clean as anywhere I've been around central Vermont. And I'm proud as hell about
Yeah,
that,
Eric,
so
you said earlier.
keep it up.
Oh, and say that same thing. You said, well, maybe maybe the quality of them will go down a little bit, but I travel a lot with the bus in the winter time and I'll travel on this road any day.
Any day.
You know what the town line is.
I know where the town line is.
Standard
It used to be the old
standards, the
days.
standard.
You also know which state district starts where and ends where, because up by my house, north of our road is totally different than south of our
Bet
road.
you wish you paid more into the town, huh?
No, I'm talking, no, because that's Chittenden County.
Oh.
Change the places.
Yeah,
That truck goes all the way from Milton,
yeah.
Yep.
Colchester, Milton Town line.
Yep.
and I am good.
Tell the guys thank you.
Correspondence. Greg,
I sent it out, we had a correspondence, I think this afternoon, there was a dog bite and. Just wanna bring it to everyone's attention, it came to see me having a lot more dog bites lately.
we go through rash. I remember the first probably 6 months I was on the board, all we dealt with was dog violations.
Do the dog board.
The dog board.
We ended up doing a new dog ordinance and then we got the dog ordinance all in and approved and something happened that we didn't even consider. It was a nightmare.
So we'll have to see if we bring it to the board or what the next steps would be. It looks like there's a couple of issues
It's a
back in
re-
2022.
Yeah, it's a repeat.
I was gonna say, this is a repeat.
So
So we deal with that at the town level, not a state level.
Yes.
We are the authority having jurisdiction.
I'll put it on next week's or next meeting.
Okay.
Can it wait that long? I'm just asking.
Sure.
Is the issue taken care of for now?
He broke his leash.
He broke his leash.
Okay.
I mean,
Do we get a new leash?
I don't know. I haven't followed up. Just haven't had time.
So if he broke, I'm assuming the situation is.
Stable.
Right.
Okay,
Resolved and he's not biting though.
yeah, well, if it was something that was gonna be ongoing, then
Right.
I wouldn't wanna wait 2 weeks to deal with it.
Right.
Okay. Anything else for correspondence?
That's it.
Executive session?
Yes.
Michelle?
I make a motion, we enter executive session for one VSA, section 313, for attorney-client communications and personnel, and we invite Kevin Brown to join us.
Second.
Oh, good.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
We also invite Chief Mason.
Oh, sorry, and Chief Nason.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Great. Thank you.
One more thing for you guys.
Thanks, Chris.
I'm checking into the digital radios again. Because.
Digital radios is